From time to time, I find myself searching online to see if there are any reenactment groups that are representing the Invalid Corps or Veteran Reserve Corps. While searching online, I found a video of a recreation of the Abraham Lincoln Coffin viewing that I didn't know about. If you are unaware, in 1865 there were 29 members of the Veteran Reserve Corps, being 4 officers and 25 first sergeants, that were picked to be the only men to guard, move, and handle the coffin. Excited to watch the video, I realized the display made the same historical mistake as the Chicago reenactment that too had a moving of the coffin display. I personally believe that any display should be done as accurately as possible and research should be done to not overlook details. One detail that had been overlooked in the coffin display was that it was ordered in 1865 that any time Abraham Lincoln's coffin was being moved and displayed, the coffin had to be elevated. If the coffin was in a parade being displayed in a hearse or on a catafalque, the coffin needed to be elevated up as it passed, so anyone trying to view the coffin would need to look up at it. This was symbolic of how Lincoln elevated the nation, and it was ordered to be done at every viewing. The only time it was to be lowered was when the coffin was opened for viewing to view the late president. Every stop the coffin made had to have an altered hearse or catafalque. There was no designated hearse or catafalque that traveled with the coffin. Each town provided their own. Likewise, when any member of the Veteran Reserve Corps moved the coffin to be displayed or to be loaded, by orders of the ceremony, the coffin had to be elevated. The sergeants of the Veteran Reserve Corps, when loading or unloading the coffin, would always have the coffin on their shoulders. Again, this was to show how the late president elevated the country, and anyone viewing would need to look up. In the last open viewing of the Lincoln coffin before it was placed in the holding vault, the report stated, "The coffin was then closed and borne upon the shoulders of the sergeants of the Veteran Reserve Corps." The 2 coffin reenactments had the coffin being held low, below each sergeant's waist, definitely not a show of elevation. The sergeants of the Veteran Reserve Corps were also to stand next to the coffin when on parade display to be on guard over the coffin, not walk behind the displaying hearse. For as much as the Veteran Reserve Corps has been written out of history, I feel that the information that exists and is readily available should be heavily studied, and if recreated, it should be done to the best detail. These 29 men were given the highest respect in seeing that the late president remained protected and well represented. Shouldn't we do the same for them?